RMD Network, proud sponsors of the We Live, We Learn podcast.
Man, because we'll definitely get lost. It is relevant.
It's very relevant.
But at the same time, you know, for the purpose of time. Is there a risk that, do you think there's a risk that, you know, in terms of the music, people from outside of the culture might try to claim Afrobeats for themselves in the future?
Never happen. Never.
No?
Never.
It's so like, unless we're going thousands of years into the future where we won't even be there to like be able to say, oh, this thing was documented. I think because of the internet, like everything is documented. I don't know what's going to happen in 300 years. Actually, everything we're doing right now might be so like archaic that it's obsolete, and everything that historically has been captured will suddenly like disappear. But I think there's just too much evidence of where Afrobeats came from. It would literally be if like the people of the future just didn't care about history anymore.
But there's going to be one person that says, yeah, but if it weren't for pop,
It weren't for Elvis.
If it wasn't for
if it weren't for
Elvis,
Elvis,
there would be no Burna Boy.
Mad. No Michael
What
Jackson.
in the world?
yeah, they're the ones.
You never know. You never
Yeah.
know. Can't be surprised.
What would you say to that? How do you answer that question?
In regards to whether it could be taken, I think nothing surprises me in this world.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I've lived long enough to see enough cycles.
Yeah.
And I know that everything comes in cycles.
Yeah.
So when people say this thing is over or that thing is over, I'm like, why do you think that?
Yeah.
Because from what I've seen, things happen to come back again.
Yeah.
Just because you put it in the washing machine, clean it, take it out, it's still the same set of clothes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just been cleaned and rephrased.
Yeah.
So I would say that it is possible. I'm not saying it will happen, but I would say it's definitely possible. How it happens, that's the mystery, and that's what keeps it happening, because it's hard to predict how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you don't know how something's going to happen, you don't know how to stop it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it's
That's a
possible. It's
good
very,
point.
very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I just hope it didn't happen.
I like
I'm
that.
leaning more to what you're saying. I don't think it would happen. But
Not with
yeah.
Afrobeats. I can see how it happened.
Why don't you think it will
Yeah.
happen?
I don't know. There's too much of a core. Okay, Afrobeats has come at a time when, like, let's have it right, yeah. Afrobeats a fusion of a lot of music. You've got the Caribbean influence growing up in the 80s, you know, Buju Banton and Sizzla in the 90s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to listen to them in Nigeria. Also, we had the hip hop guys, you know,
That's true.
influence. So, in a nutshell, we're influenced. Afrobeat is an influence of all those things.
Yeah. But
You know what I
specifically,
mean?
But
So
here's
what
the
I'm
kicker.
trying to say,
on it.
Here's the
so what I'm trying to say, so where we are now, it's like a transformer, like a Voltron of all those music that
True.
makes Afrobeats.
I agree.
Afrobeats,
But
you can
you've
play-
got
hold on.
reggae people now today saying that Africans don't give them the credit for their hand in Afrobeats.
Some Africans.
Some,
But-
I think some
But
people.
I hear it often.
Yeah.
No, some, and we're gonna debunk that myth today. You know what I mean? African Afrobeats is a fusion of hip hop, R&B, reggae, and dare I say, no, those main three, and soul. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say, it's a combination of all those things, and that's where it is now. You can play Afrobeat in a christening, in a 40-year-old birthday party with blue lights and red lights in. You can play it at a child's party.
Yeah.
It's so globally
It's very
accepted.
global.
It's friendly music.
Yeah.
You can't play hardcore hip hop. You can't play certain ragga tunes. You can't play certain soul tunes.
point.
That's got bare thingy.
I've been to a few
So,
places, so God.
I just want to say, like, I'm with you, Emmavie, on it. Like, I hope so,
Yeah.
because music in general is at a place where Afrobeats is its final form
Ooh.
in terms of music.
I'm with you lot on I hope so. I'm not with you on it can't happen again.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
I can't stick there.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
But all the points that you made, you're right. As I said,
Fair enough.
in the last couple of years, I've been to many places. Turkey,
Yeah.
for example, Dubai, and all of these countries, just for reference, are banging Afrobeats.
That's true.
Afrobeats is the main music playing out there. So that tells you what kind of a reach Afrobeats,
It's global,
the
man.
impact it's
Do
had.
you think that like people in Turkey are listening to Afrobeats and they don't know where it comes from?
Probably.
Do you think so?
They're just enjoying.
I feel like that's true. There'll be
They're
some
just-
people who are just like, this is just music.
When you
Small
listen to
minorities,
Arab,
small
when you
minorities.
think about what Arabic music sounds
Yeah.
like, yeah, what you telling me you can't hear a fusion thing going on potentially? They might not even know it's coming from that it's coming from an African artist. They might just think it's a new form of
What
creativity.
Arab beats? What Arab?
Yeah. When you hear them, like you know what I mean. Again,
I
places
don't
I've
think
been,
I make-
Morocco, Tunisia, like
Yeah.
I hear music and it can easily.
You know-
I'm talking from a DJ's perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not a DJ, but I know music,
Yeah.
and I can mix some of them tunes
Together.
into some of these tunes.
But
So-
I don't think, you know what, I think what you're saying, sorry to cut you off.
Go on.
I think what you're saying is that like the genres share similarities because there's only so many drum patterns, and ultimately like we're all kind of like, when you start doing fusion music, we're all kind of like borrowing. But when I've listened to Arabic music, even if it has like a certain African element, it's still very clearly Arab music,
That's
and
their
in a way that's
signature.
really difficult to borrow. Like when you hear like Timbaland sampling, I'm not going to think, is that an African sample or is it an Arabic? I'm going to know immediately that that's like Arabic music.
But is that you though? Because you sound
Yeah,
well educated on your topics. You're also an artist
Yeah.
who's doing it.
yeah,
So you look at
The
the
normal
world from
Tom,
a
the normal
different
Bob,
pair of
yeah.
eyes.
yeah,
Yeah,
We got to look at the
Bobby.
casual consumer.
yeah. You know what I would say? I'd always give everyone credit because I think when you do know something really intimately, you start to assume that it isn't like easy knowledge to acquire. And when I'm just always going to give listeners the credit that you don't have to be able to make music to understand it really
The
like
identity.
deeply. And I think the thing that like I can say almost categorically with music from other cultures is that it isn't hard to distinguish where that thing has come from, in a way that like Afrobeats is more complicated. But if I'm like going to like traditional music from another country, I would be able to recognize Indian music straight away. I'd be able to recognize Chinese music, traditional Chinese music straight away. And it's like, I can do that with more traditional African genres, but Afrobeats, like you said, there'll
It's a
be
bit
some like
thing.
reggae influence in there. And,
Exactly.
like, so I don't think we're the only people who can listen to music and be like, this is Arabic music. I actually think when it comes from different cultures, everybody can kind of tell. Black music is really difficult. It's more, not really, it's more difficult to do that with.
Black music is difficult. Afrobeat versus dancehall sometimes gets a bit phasey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shatta Wale on a certain song. Is Shatta Wale doing Afrobeat on Afrobeats, or is he doing singing Afrobeats on a dancehall?
tune.
Exactly.
That's when
Or
it gets
even
a
like
bit
grime and drill and like all these sort of things that feel like they came out of like the UK or they came out of Chicago and New York, but like people are using the same like hip hop flows or like grime flows on a beat that's like, it's because it's so digital and there's a real essence to it. But like when I listen to drill music, sometimes I'm not exactly sure if this is drill because it's going through a particular fusion, and there's more like black cultures to consider outside of even just African music.
Very true.
Like
So I hear you,
American.
though.
Very true.
I hear you.
Very
I hear
true.
you.
Yeah.
But I hear you. Yeah. But in Afro, in terms of reggae, urban black music,
Yeah.
you can identify it, man.
Burna Boy says he doesn't want to be
We're gonna through it.
identified as an Afrobeats artist.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I think he wants to get to the bag. And I feel like he understands that.
So why
like,
is he kicking people out of his concert?
I think
Tyler,
also
this is
you get
Tyler's-
ahead of yourself. I think when you get so famous, you start feeling untouchable. I think specifically what Burna Boy is probably talking about is when you get to like Grammy level and they need to categorize your music. When your music is categorized as like African music, I think they have it under one category, like
Yeah.
world music or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
not even like African music. And
Yeah.
It's like literally every music that isn't like, what's the word, Western music has just one genre, and that doesn't even get televised. So when the Grammys goes on the TV now and you're seeing Doja Cat up there and you're seeing Kendrick Lamar going up and you're seeing Sabrina Carpenter, they won't show Burna Boy winning a Grammy for world music.
Because he's genre, sort of genre.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a certain like level of accolade that like he should be entitled to, and he understands that like calling his music Afrobeat or calling it like African music immediately, like, what's the word? It just
Pigeonholes him.
Yeah, pigeonholes him. And it's like, that's why I'm like, he wants to get to the bag. It's not that I don't think, at least, I don't know, and I haven't spoken to him. I don't think he's rejecting the culture, like, what I'm doing is bigger than African music. I think he's like, it's bigger than the like credit that African music gets because it's global. It is like globally recognized as a mainstream sound that he's doing. But I think he hasn't articulated himself very well.
Yeah.